Thanksgiving week, and we are so thankful for the patrons who support us 24/7, 365, all 52 weeks of the year at patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. Yeah, we're knee deep into the off season now, but that doesn't mean things have slowed down for our Padres Hot Tub patrons. We've got basketball fantasy going on. We've got NFL fantasy going on. We've got our Banter the Show, which is exclusive for patrons and only goes out to the folks who support us at patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. And the Discord continues 24/7, 365. I tell you what, when I'm waking up in the morning and I'm looking for some Padres news, some MLB news, instead of surfing through the hellscapes of Twitter or trying to find something in between all the ads on any of the meta products, no, you can just go to the Discord where somebody has kindly posted the link for you at some point along the way. So it's a great community that chooses to be there, chooses to work together. That's why we have such a great retention rate. When people sign up as patrons to Padres Hot Tub, they like to stay all year long. So why don't you find out for yourself if it's a great community for you too? Only costs $5 a month at our lowest level. Patreon.com, that's patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. Welcome to the Padres Hot Tub, everybody. Craig Elsten, Chris Reed, Raphie Cantor. Thanksgiving week. We're recording on Monday, November 24th. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends and do everything you want to do. We are here to talk about the Padres in some level. Almost nothing has happened, but we're gonna go ahead and make a meal of it nonetheless. Looking forward to it. And Chris, how have you been?
I've been well. I look forward to talking Campusano yet again with you. I'll never not talk Campy on Padres Hot Tub, and we have reason to this week, so I am pumped.
How about you, Rafe?
I'm now at the point in the offseason where I'm starting to realize just how much of my brain I have back on a day-to-day basis, not thinking about baseball. It's just kind of weird that I'm in this fugue state during the season where there is about 25% of my brain at all times thinking about baseball in some way, and not ever really being able to escape it. And there's something somewhat pleasant, or at least for now. I know I won't feel this way in a few weeks, where I'm like, oh, Campusano signed a deal. That's nice. And then I just kind of go on with the rest of my day, and then that's it. But you know, as winter recedes and the days start to become longer in just a few weeks, I know I'm gonna get that itch again.
Well, I will admit to being of split attention, to be sure, as San Diego FC plays their knockout, round of 8 game tonight, and Chromaniacs will be all over that. My beloved San Diego Sockers, who I actually work for, our season opener is on Friday night, Black Friday at Front Wave Arena. Hope to see some of our patrons and our PHT listeners and viewers come check out the product for the Sockers at Front Wave Arena this Friday night as they take on Empire. Very, very busy times. And, for the Padres, not very busy times right now. I think after the last 2 off seasons, I've now decided that this is just the way it's going to be, that the off season is going to be clouded by some general concern, right? Generally Seidler family adjace.
I would say extraordinary concern, dramatic concern.
There's a thing over our head that we cannot resolve and we cannot participate in the resolution of. It just stays there. And meanwhile, the baseball season, off season continues and other teams do things. And the Padres, usually don't. Just don't do things. And then, we'll go through December saying, oh, nothing. In January, oh, nothing. And then we'll get frustrated sometime in February. Are we never going to do a thing? And then all the things will be done by opening day.
it's not even winter meetings yet, my friend. Like that's when things happen baseball wide. I mean, we had a big trade dropped
That's true.
yesterday. Nimmo to Texas in exchange for Semien, just kind of a weird deal, and nobody saw that coming. But other than that, who's the highest, the most established free agent that's signed? Josh Naylor?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
he's the biggest one so far, yeah. So he's like the only one. So I like I still think something crazy could happen in December. I have a crazy idea for December right now. Ready for this show.
Wow. Does it involve
Yeah.
baseball or is it just like something fun we could do?
The purest baseball there is.
Oh, TBD, TBD. We'll wait to hear that, I guess. Or is this now or is it
No, later.
later? Got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Got
yeah.
it. Very good.
Finish your prelude.
Okay. Well, let's finish the prelude. Then, first off, just a big thanks to everybody who continues to support us. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can hit that thumbs up button right away. We really do appreciate it. And it does help. Adding comments helps move the algorithm along as well. We're as always thankful to our patrons, patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub. To wit, December 7th is our second annual Padres Hot Tub Winter Social / Trivia Night. It is at Stone's Brewing and Tap Room on Kettner Boulevard, downtown. Not exactly downtown, but on Kettner.
Little Italy.
Little Italy, right. On the way to downtown. So come join us. It'll get started around 6 o'clock. I think trivia will start around 6:37, more along those lines. But looking forward to seeing patrons there. Looking forward to seeing maybe a random PHT fan who just heard this right now and took it as an invitation. But looking forward to seeing everybody in a couple of Sundays for our winter social trivia night. Our man Monty, the trivia master, is back from Cincinnati. I think he came specifically to. No, he didn't. He came for another reason. But while he's here, he'll be doing this as well. He'll be our trivia host with the most once again. Can't wait.
It was a lot of fun last year. I'm bummed I won't be able to make it this year. Monty puts on a hell of a party, and that space is really good. And I just want to say, like Craig mentioned, last year there were a couple of folks who we met for the first time who had never gotten involved with our community or our events or weren't on the Discord, weren't in the Patreon. And they had a blast, and it was great to meet those faces. But you better bring it because Monty's trivia is no joke. Like you should be hitting baseball reference every day in the coming weeks.
Well, Raphie and I will be there to support. And
Yes,
you have
sir.
got reason not to be there. I mean, you've got an excused absence.
I do. Yeah, pests. There's rodents. Yeah, yeah.
Pestilence is accepted as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be there. We'll be there on December 7th. We look forward to seeing some of you out there as well. Thanks to everybody for supporting the show. Okay. Let's do the quick catch up on the headlines, and we'll start with something that's really not that much of a surprise. Although I will hold my hand up. I thought there was a chance that Michael King accepted a qualifying offer. As point of fact, 4 people did accept qualifying offers this year, and I believe that's the most ever.
It's unprecedented. Yes, it is the most ever.
So it wasn't crazy talk, but at the end, Michael King definitely believes he can get more than a 1-year deal on the market, and I'm sure he's right. And so he declined. Dylan Cease, we all knew, was going to market. He is going to be on whatever big market team, decides to chase the rainbow with him. Somebody's going to fall in love with the strikeout numbers, and they're going to sign him up to a big deal, and then they're going to find out about the frisbee golf and the honey and
Yeah.
the poetry and everything else, and they're going to be tantalized and dazzled by Dylan Cease, and then they'll get to watch him pitch for a few years, and they'll start to develop a different opinion. But the strikeouts will be there. King, you continue to hear the Padres say, at least vaguely through sources to the reporter class, that they have interest in a Michael King reunion. We're going to get into the 900 inning problem, Raphie. I mean, he would hopefully go a long way toward fixing that, but I think that's the big deal about locking into Michael King compared to Dylan Cease, right? At least with Cease, you can probably write 180 next to his name for an innings total and be sure of that, if nothing else. With King, it could be 200, it could be 75.
Well, and that'll be interesting for whomever is the team that signs him, because Michael King threw 73 innings last year. And I think the odds that he ramps up and is able to throw 180 innings for whomever signs him are quite low. I think even if Michael King has a good year, something closer to 140, 150 innings is probably a little bit more likely, just in the way that we see guys ramp up in innings loads and stuff. I mean, as we know from having him on the Padres for a couple of years, he's an absolute dog, and he's going to want to pitch if he's healthy. But just the lingering health concerns aside, even if you get a fully healthy Michael King, I am a little suspect that he would be able to surpass a Dylan Cease or, equivalent, typically healthy pitcher in innings load.
It's interesting because we're kind of in a similar spot we were when Blake Snell left. That was a guy that went to free agency, got the QO, but had like huge question marks about his durability, about the innings that he could conceivably put up in a year. He got the contract from the Giants, which was an option year, I want to think, averaging around 30 AAV. And he exercised his option after having a great second half. Like everyone kind of thought he did, and then he got his giant deal. I think the QO is the best case scenario for Padres fans who want to keep Michael King. The QO getting declined. Because now, if another team wants to sign Michael King, they're going to give up picks because he's got that QO attached. It's going to cost them more than just money to sign Michael King. And the Padres are the only team that won't apply to. If he re-signs with the Padres, it's, wash your hands of it, all good. So that's what held down Nick Pavetta's market last year. That's why he was basically the last frontline pitcher available in free agency. And I think that this increases the chances of Michael King coming back on some sort of midterm extension with lots of optionality that keeps the AAV reasonable. So, Michael King fans, I think this is the best thing besides him accepting the QO, which wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing would be for him to announce that he's in line to do an Ohtani and have a $2 million
start hitting
salary and bring out that big bat.
Drop 50 bombs a year. Let's do it, Michael King.
But I don't know. I don't think we're going to re-sign either guy. But I would love to. I would love to see that the budget allowed it, because that would be huge. That would be huge. And of the people who are available pitching wise, I think King has shown us enough that I'd be willing to roll the dice on his physical durability more than I would some of the other potential free agent types, just in terms of rolling the dice on their performance, and whether they'd even be good for San Diego. I think we all know Michael King will be good for San Diego if he's here. It's just, can he be healthy enough to be a full-time starting pitcher the next 3 to 5 seasons? He certainly thinks so. He, from his career innings count, could be right, but his career injury docket says maybe not. So he's a really interesting case. I think whoever gets him this winter potentially gets the best free agent in terms of the best free agent value pitcher, the best bang for your buck. I don't know that he'll perform the best, but I think he'll be like the most intriguing guy to sign, and I hope that's with us. But whoever gets him, I think, is going to have a very interesting hire.
Yeah, I mean, important to remember that, yes, in 2024, Michael King threw 173 and 2/3 innings for the Padres. up until that point, he had never thrown more than 105 innings in a season in his career. And he's only had, and that was only one season where he reached 104 and 2/3. Every other season, he's had under 74 pitches. Like last season for the Padres is the third most innings he's ever thrown in a season in Major League Baseball. And he just hit free agency, and he threw 73 innings last year. So, I think there is a lot of reason to be skeptical. I think it's healthy skepticism that this guy who is probably going to be asking for somewhere between $20 and $25 million a year for several years is going to be able to make good on that. But I think you're right, Craig. This is one of those things where it's only going to be in hindsight that we're going to look back and be like, oh, someone obviously should have given him that money in the 2025-2026 offseason. The fools, or, the complete opposite, where someone's going to be caught holding the bag for someone who's remained on the injured list for a lot of their tenure. So this is the fun. This is the fun of silly season.
The one last thing I'd say about this, I can't let it go. If he does leave, if we are worried about re-signing him, one of the weirdest things to me, is that in this postseason, he pitched one relief inning. Yeah. And keep in mind, we now know that the Padres put Yu Darvish on the mound with what they had to know was a partially torn ligament in his pitching elbow. And they put his ass out there. And when it didn't work out, not too surprisingly, King later got in that game for one inning, like 15 pitches, and he was done. What the hell was that? Here's a guy that's going to go make $80, $100 million in the free agent market. We used him for one inning. So does that mean he wasn't healthy enough to contribute to the Padres? Did that mean that Yu Darvish was more healthy than Michael King to contribute? Or was it a decision malpractice for San Diego to not use Michael King in this 3-game series that they lost?
Well, I mean, if I just think back to the moment, both of those guys were about equal levels of shaky coming into the playoff series. I know Michael King came back and had at least one good start, that you're like, okay, it's looking like he's returning to form, but then followed it with, shaky starts. So you're not making that decision based on who's going to make the most in free agency the next year. You're making that decision based on who you think is going to help you win the game.
And why wasn't it him? Yeah, his last 2 starts were 5 innings shutout at Chicago White Sox, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. I remember not being totally whelmed by that performance. After that, it was a 2 2/3 shutout, 1 hit against Arizona that I think we all thought was the tune-up for his playoff start. And instead, he didn't start game 1. Fine, we get it. He didn't start game 2. Fine. Pivetta cease. We get it. But he didn't start game 3. And Yu Darvish started that game, and then he didn't get the bulk innings in that game instead.
I think that's the weirder thing, that he pitched just 1 inning as opposed to Mike Schilt trying to, lengthen him out. It's weird, man. I like it, but the organization's high on King just from how they've talked about him. So, man, Mike Schilt decisions, I think we're gonna just have to put in the rear view.
I mean, it's from the coaching office that brought you the lefty lane comes, so yeah, I'd say maybe some decision malpractices in line, and also lest we forget that this was a team that saw success in last year's postseason, putting a gritty pitcher with a thread of an elbow ligament on the mound, and so I think that they were like, well, if Joe can do it. Right. If Joe can grit it out, then let's try again. See, wring as much as you can from this lemon before you dump him in the compost bin,
Oh my gosh. Sorry, tiny diatribe aside. That's one of those enduring mysteries for me from the past season. So players had to cross a threshold where they were either tendered contracts for 2026 or not, designated for assignment, non-tendered, sent out. And for the San Diego Padres, two names, and I think one of them a little bit surprising, in Sean Reynolds and Omar Cruz. Omar Cruz has been more about like, well, maybe this and possibly that, than anything he's ever really done. 2 years ago, 2024, not that long ago, we were talking about Sean Reynolds' ankle injury being a bummer because we wouldn't have his arm in the bullpen for the playoffs. Talking about the potential of converting him into a starter, talking about him being potentially an impact arm in the bullpen this year or next year. And I think it's interesting, Raphie, that, I mean, obviously times change, people change, and opinions can change, but his fastball dropped 4 or 5 miles an hour last year, year over year. And that's enough, I think, in the balance of baseball and Sean Reynolds' talent therein for a team to go from intriguing late inning option to see you, pal.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it can just be as simple as he doesn't have any more minor league options available, and the Padres can't afford to have someone, especially like the Padres are extremely lacking in depth in a lot of part of their games, but fortunately for us, the bullpen is not one of them. And so to have a guy who you're not able to shuttle back and forth between El Paso when that's really all he might be able to do, and the David Morgan market corrected for Sean Reynolds in a way. It's
Right.
like, okay, like we actually don't need this guy because we have basically what we thought he was always going to be, which is a power righty arm with a devastating breaking ball, who you could call upon in 6th, 7th inning situations. And so, why keep the guy with question marks and no minor league options available when you have a potentially as good, if not better version of him with options at your disposal? So that's all.
I think that's it. And I think we're going to see Sean Reynolds pitch somewhere else and do pretty well. Maybe one of these central teams that don't win or lose their season with every blown save. His fastball velo is down about 1 mile per hour. And this is a big dude, 6'8", coming off of an injury that's kind of foundational. Seems like something that may take longer to get back. And I hope he doesn't Estrada us.
Yeah. Hey, me too, for sure. There's always going to be somebody talented that needs a change of scenery, and it's one team thought that it was over, and another team thinks, hey, we've got a chance with that. Whit, let me present to you via Craig Calcaterra's Cup of Coffee newsletter some of the players who got non-tendered over the course. Oh, hang on. You wanted to go to you only say yes for one thing, Chris.
I do.
Let's just start there.
I do.
We can get to the interesting non-tenders later. Sweet Campy.
Because the sweet Campy land, the drama never ends. Campy land, the drama continues. Luis Campusano got paid $1 million last year. He's entering his final year of arbitration. So that means he's going to make way more than that this year, right? Especially with those AAA accolades. No. Campusano accepts $900,000 from the Padres. Like, if Campy was pissed off with his position in the Padres and saw no hope for 2026 for establishing some value for him as he hits free agency, I think he plays hardball with the contract and pushes it to arbitration, because what's the worst that could happen? He loses and he makes $600,000 less. There's not a big risk reward there. But if he had assurances from the organization that he was still a valued guy and that they're offering him this $900,000 just to keep him around, he's going to have a spot on the roster, he has those assurances of establishing his value, maybe that's a reason not to drag it out. I mean, the Padres control his rights at the end of the day. But if they thought he was going to cost them more than they wanted, they might just non-tender him. Like, he was probably their biggest non-tender candidate. And the fact that they reached terms on a deal, my flame is alit. My candle burning in my heart for the rise of Campusano is a flame.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, I took a big deep breath. I mean, we were saying this last season on the show, like while we were midway through the season, like Luis Campusano in the best of circumstances solves a lot of problems for this team. Like catching depth, huge question mark. If you actually believe in Luis Campusano as a catcher, which certainly Mike Schilt didn't, and I think the organization probably doesn't as well, considering they stopped playing him there in the minor leagues last year. If he did, perform at that position, that solves a lot of problems. If he is a available short-sided platoon righty power bat for designated hitter for the Padres, or some sort of first base platoon that he could be in, that solves a lot of problem for the Padres. And I think, like, in a weird way, like, because it's a internal, re-signing of a guy who's in his ARB years, it doesn't necessarily feel like an outside solution. But to me, this is like a David Peralta or like a Connor Joe signing, where it's like this a Gavin Sheets signing in the best of circumstances. So even though it's an internal one, it's like, yeah, sure, let's give this guy $900K, and if it works out and he is able to hit 17 home runs for the Padres next year, that's awesome. Like, that's great. That's a positive outcome. And if not, you could cut him. I don't know if they would, but you could cut him. Again, same thing as Sean Reynolds. Campusano's out of options. Kind of shocking to believe that he wasn't out of options like 3 years ago, like that. Right. He was still able to play in El Paso this year. But officially, finally, Campusano's out of options. So, there is a version in which Luis Campusano is DFA'd by this team on May 15th. There's a version in which he finishes the season with the team and is, 2026 is Gavin Sheets. All are possible. But I look at that deal as kind of something that we've seen Preller do the last few years.
Just looking forward to the February signing of Austin Barnes to step in and immediately take every single one of Campy's at-bats and innings behind the plate, because he's a veteran who knows how to get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I got to say about Campy and Campy Land, which, unlike Candyland, where there's lovely, like peppermint sticks and gumdrops along the trail, slightly different plants along the trail.
Those gumdrops can doom you, bro. They can drag you back. You can be 2 purples away from sweet victory, and you draw a gumdrop.
Speaking of which, the gumdrops in Campyland, they suggest you only take half a gumdrop first.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's an old school Hollywood buffet in Campyland, indeed.
Old school Hollywood buffet. That's a good one from the studio this year. That was a great show, by the way. Okay, now to the interesting non-tender candidates. Just like Raphie was saying, here's somebody that you could throw maybe $1 million at and say, let's take a chance and invite them to spring training. I'm sure a couple of the names on this list would like to get a better deal than that. But again, just going off of the intriguing names that Calcaterra pulled forth, and I thought these were all interesting. Let's go through this list and give me a quick, would you like to wave them into the waiting room, or would you like to see them pass along? Adolis Garcia, at age 31, was powering my fantasy team to something, at least. I guess I've been relegated the last 2 years, but he was doing his part. Where all the pitching fell apart, he was doing his part. He helped them win the World Series, the Texas Rangers, in 2023. By his age 32 season, they were done with him. Age 33, they non-tender him, and he is a free agent. And of course, the Rangers then go and acquire Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien to fill that outfield hole. But Adolis Garcia, right-handed power, RBI man, no walks, wild swinger, and kind of fell off a cliff the last 2 seasons. Any thoughts on him as a reclamation project?
Not really.
The thing is, the position you're going to want him for is DH, and most of the value he brings is defensively. Like, he just doesn't have a spot.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
left
projected
field.
to put up a. But that's Ramon Laureano's spot.
Oh yeah,
and-
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, he's projected to put up a 99 WRC plus next year. I mean, yes, Fangraphs depth charts projects him to put up 24 home runs. That's something that the Padres could use. But he has a projected on base percentage that's south of 300 right now, 297 projected. Mainly because he doesn't walk. He's got anywhere from like a 5 to 7% walk rate in his future, and he strikes out at a 25% clip. So, there's not a lot of wiggle room. He's going to run into a lot of balls. And I mean, look, should the Padres be embracing Petco Park as a venue? Like, yes, absolutely. Like, pulling balls in Petco Park is something that we've been advocating for in the air. Maybe Adolis Garcia could do it, but it doesn't intrigue me.
Fair enough. How about his Rangers teammate? Here's somebody that could take Campusano's at bats away and hide them in a corner. How about Jonah Heim? Just a couple of years ago, he was pretty darn good, and he has fallen off a cliff the last 2 seasons as well. But always one of those guys that you're like, a little bit of interest there. Switch hitter, 68 career homers in his career. 11 last year, but a 77 OPS plus, and fell out of. He did get almost 400 at bats last season, so it's not like Higashioka came in and just like stole his job and stole his thunder, but Heim has drifted away. Nonetheless, for a team like us that's been so struggling with catching, I mean, just looking at his 2023 All-Star season with a 755 OPS, 106 OPS plus, I mean, it certainly compares nicely to some Freddie Fermin seasons.
What I would love is if the Padres could be aggressive securing a backup catcher this year, which they did not do last year. I felt like it cost them big, and maybe they were wishing upon the Campusano star. But I hope they're done with that. Heim enters like a free agent tier that is just like this giant glut of pretty mediocre 30-year-olds at the position, like behind Real Muto. Like behind Real Muto, basically everybody could put up a negative WAR season as easy as they do a positive one. It's Victor Carantini's number 2, Danny Jansen, Vasquez, McCann. Elias Diaz is like the 6th ranked catcher free agent in this class.
Yikes.
So, like, I mind Heim less just because there is something there. He's toolsy off the bench if he winds up not being a solution at catcher and something else comes up later. I don't mind him a lot less, and I just want them to be aggressive at the position.
Yeah, Heim's interesting because he was an incredible defensive catcher in 2023. He had a 98th percentile fielding run value, according to StatCast. Was really good at framing, was really good at catching guys running. And at the plate was like an average guy, but an average guy with incredible defensive catching abilities is very valuable. And really, if you look at 2025 and you look at the sliders on a StatCast page, it's not too different than like Martin Maldonado. Like, he was really bad at the plate. He was really bad base running. His fielding ability was 29th percentile. And the thing that, it's worth saying that we have to start thinking about it a little bit in 2026 at the catcher's position is we've got ABS around the corner. And that's going to eat into the value of framing. Now, it's not a complete robot system that every single pitch would make framing like completely obsolete. Like, there's a limited number of challenges per game. I think it's something that teams are still going to value, but it's not, it's even if it's a 20% reduction that means a lot to someone like Austin Hedges, where that's where you get like all of his value essentially. So, I wonder, just as a thought experiment, how that's going to change the way that teams think about catchers. Like, does a guy like for instance, does the advent of ABS make Luis Campusano more interesting as a catcher? Because you're not worried about framing as much. Like, yes, you're worried about blocked balls, you're worried about throwing guys out. Like that's never going to go away. But yeah, Chris.
I think if they went full ABS, it would change the position overnight. Like they would have to start over anew. But because it's still the challenge system, and we're going to see a limited percentage of pitches challenged, framing's still going to be a big part of the game. Austin Hedges has no reason to fear.
My bottom line on Jonah Heim is that he had 1 year that he was offensively viable, and every other year of his career, he has been really, really bad offensively. So the last 2 years, he put up a 602 OPS each year. So, those handful of homers that he hits are really offset by the thousands of ground ball outs that he makes, or at least hundreds. And I would be much more happy with them trying Campusano than I would be sticking a Jonah Heim in front of him. But I know they will. You know it.
You brought up Austin Barnes as like a terrifying example of like who they could bring in, and Austin Barnes is worth more than half a game more wins the past 2 years than Jonah Heim. Like 0.7 F4 difference between the two.
All right, scratch him off the list then. This guy here is dead. It's Alek Manoah. No, he's not dead. It's Alek Manoah. He's not dead, and he was once Canadian, but now
your old favorite.
Now Alek Manoah is Raphie says just underline the no part in Manoah. You're a no on Manoah.
I am a no on Manoah. It's hey, can I interest you in the delightful combination of both erratic pitching performance and being a clubhouse cancer? Here, take on Alek Manoah, a guy who several teams have taken a flyer on now at this point, and to little to no success. So, I don't want Alek Manoah anywhere near the Padres.
Fair enough. And my last is kind of a hey Joe right here. This could, thankfully, we have Ramon Laureano, so we probably don't need a hey Joe. But if you had a hey Joe of outfielders, it could be Mike Tauchman and Christopher Morel. Mike Tauchman is kind of like the poor man's stat nerd's fourth outfielder. Like, I feel like every year someone brings up Mike Tauchman to me and is like, well, Mike Tauchman, left-handed bat. He's okay. Like, he's all right. He's got a little pop. He's got a little on base. He's got a little this, little that. By contrast, Christopher Morel is just bombs or absolutely nothing. And in the past, it's been some bombs with Chicago. They thought he was going to develop into a 40 home run hitter. With the Cubs, he moved on to the Rays, and I think the Rays have figured out what he is, and that's not a lot. But he does have light tower power if he could ever figure it out. I feel like those are guys that teams are going to take $1 million swings on in spring training.
I think of all the people you have named, Tauchman is probably the one that I'm the most interested in, because I'm just going to read you. So Mike Tauchman in the last 3 seasons has had 400 plate appearances, 350 plate appearances, 385 plate appearances. And in those seasons, respectively, he's put up an OPS of 740, 723, 756. That's fine. That, like, a fourth outfielder who is not going to be a tire fire defensively, who's a left-handed bat that you can throw in to mix things up. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you get 300 plate appearances out of him, 300, 350. Like, he's not going to cost you a lot of money. I'm not disinterested in Mike Tauchman.
My only disinterest in Mike Tauchman is that JJ Bleday also hit the list, and Bleday might get a little bit more of a deal than Tauchman. I think you're right, Craig, in that Tachman's going to be one of these February guys. Um, he's going to weigh his options against a lot of different factors, the competitiveness, playing time. I don't think we're going to see him soon. But I think if the Padres bounced on Bidet, they would get a toolsy fourth outfielder who would be comfortable not getting a ton of playing time. And he's a year removed from being really good in Oakland, hitting 20 home runs. So, like, I think that there is stuff to be sowed wheat to be sowed out of these recently DFA'd guys, and Talkman of that list is the highest, but they also got released, and that was kind of a surprise to me to see that coming.
That's about it. There's a couple other guys, I'm sure, leave in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, somebody you think would be an interesting non-tender candidate in terms of somebody that the Padres would like to take a flyer on. I just continue to believe that this is the area we're going to live in for a while, is finding fringe guys on fringe deals to round out the fringes of the roster and pointing at the big money contracts and going, that's our core. Core's right there. We just have to build around the core, and we don't have to do that in December. We can get a deal if we wait till February or March, and I'm expecting that. And I'm not going to be screaming when 6 free agents go off the board and none of them go to San Diego.
Yeah, Eric Rubner said our guys have to find the 180 home runs. He said that pretty explicitly in his conversation. But who's going to get the innings is a whole nother question.
Yes, then let's do that. Let's do that right now. Raphie has brought up the 900 inning question for years with us here on Padres Hot Tub.
You guys were talking about it with Gennaro. Like that was 900
that's
innings.
True.
It's like the 180 homer problem was my counter to the 900 innings problem. But as we talked about briefly before we started recording, it may not actually be the 900 innings problem any longer, because last year in Major League Baseball, only one team had a total innings pitched by starting pitchers that exceeded 900 innings. Can you guys name that team?
I'm going to guess Philadelphia.
Chris?
Well, that's a really good guess. They had a hard time. I'm trying to think of quality start machines. I'm going to go Kansas City Royals.
Let me see. So the Kansas City Royals were 5th on the list with 874 innings pitched. And first on the list was indeed the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, that was
they
a good
had
guess,
929 and 2/3 innings pitched. Everyone else in Major League Baseball had less than 900 innings pitched by starting pitchers. Now, if we want to, again, the reason the 180 home run problem is 180 home runs is because that was about the median, like that's the closest round number to like middle of the pack. And right now in baseball, the Tampa Bay Rays last season had 850 and 2/3 innings pitched by their starting pitchers, and they were 14th in baseball. 15th were the Jays, the Blue Jays, and they had 840. So I would posit that it's really now the 850 inning problem. Do you guys want to guess? We can do closest to the stick. How many innings the Padres had pitched by starters last year?
Ooh. Okay. Well, Pivetta led them in innings, right? Or was it Cease? I think it was Pivetta. Let's do good. And do that, and then we can go 75 of that. Mix in like 17 innings of JP Sears and swirl. Hit the blender. Oh, there's a rocky part. Oh, that was Kyle Hart. Sorry, that took a while for the blender to grind. I'm gonna go 713.
I am gonna go 712.
How are you gonna win?
Well, that would be...
Oh, you're taking everything under. Yeah, that's true.
That would be 40 innings lower than the lowest team in Major League Baseball. So both of you are very wrong. The Chicago White Sox were 30th in the league with 758 innings pitched by starters. The Padres were 21st in baseball with 824 innings pitched by starters.
No, that's
so
what
they
I
were
meant.
still bottom tertile. Bottom tertile.
no!
of the league.
No!
Yes.
What have you
Okay.
done to us, Ben and Woods?
So 850 innings is now the target.
Tertile.
I'm going to walk you guys through what Fangraphs roster resource has listed as our current 5-man starting rotation. And I want you guys to tell me how many innings you think each of them will throw for the Padres this season. Okay. Right now, our current rotation, according to Fangraphs, is Nick Pivetta, Joe Musgrove, Randy Vasquez, JP Sears, and Kyle Hart. That is the Padres' current 5-man rotation. How many innings do you think each of those gentlemen will throw for the Padres this year? And I will take
Nick
notes
Pivetta,
and do some math.
180, Craig?
Yeah, I'm going to say 175, Nick Pivetta.
All right, 175.
Ticky-tacky.
Whoever says, I'm going to take the lower number of whatever you guys say. Unless you can agree. Because we have to find the innings. So,
Fair.
Well, now I got to add 5 to Joe, whatever Craig says for Joe Musgrove, just to get back my 5 from Pivetta. So,
do we think Joe is going to start in the first turn of games for San Diego? Do we think he's going to make one of the first 5 starts?
Yes.
We do.
Yes, I do.
I'm going to say 170 innings. Joe Musgrove. If he's going to start, he's going to start the whole year.
Chris?
See, I see him tweaking something, and I'm going to go I'm going to go 155.
Okay, I think that's crazy from both of you guys. This is a guy who hasn't pitched in a year. He's not going to throw more than 130 innings.
You don't think?
I don't.
Let's
split
the difference. So. 140.
Okay,
like
140.
Yeah, I think your concern's way more on me, Raphie. I don't think he's giving you the full. I think 180 is about optimal for any starting pitcher in 2026, and I don't think he's going to give optimal. I think it's going to be well off of it. So 140.
I think 140 is even generous, but let's just say we'll say 140. Randy Vasquez, who's next on our list, just for context, threw 133 innings pitched for the Padres last year. Yeah, so you're saying Musgrove is going to throw more than Randy Vasquez threw last year?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if he's healthy, he's considered one of the leaders of the staff. And he's going to try and go 6-7 innings a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, so Vasquez, what do you guys think?
Bump him up.
170. 170 innings.
I don't think we go that deep in games.
We can split the difference and go 160 then.
I'd say 150 maybe.
Okay, JP Sears.
90.
I think that's really fair. It could be more. He could be a full-time member of our starting rotation. If he is, he's going to throw 135 innings. If he gets bounced back and forth to AAA, it could be more of that rotation spot, throws 135 innings, and Waldron gets, 40 of them or whatever. But if he's in the full-time rotation, it's 135. But I think 90 is a fair projection for him.
Okay, we'll put 90 then. Kyle Hart.
As a starting pitcher for the San Diego Padres, 10. Better be 10.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be the 5th starter. I'll say 30 innings in random, 7 starts.
Okay, so to recap for you guys.
I say he also gets 7 starts, but for 10 innings.
We have Nick Pivetta at 175, Joe Musgrove at 140, Randy Vasquez at 160, JP Sears at 90, and Kyle Hart at 30. Now,
did we make it
500? That's 595 innings, which I still think is far too many. I think someone here is. I think that. Okay, so just for context, I'm going to read you guys the top 5 innings pitched from starters this year for the San Diego Padres, 2025. Okay.
Yeah.
181 innings from Nick Pivetta.
Okay.
168 innings from Dylan Cease.
Mm.
133 innings from Randy Vasquez. Then a big fucking drop. And then fourth on the list is 79 innings from Steven Kolick.
Yeah.
And 73 innings. This is not as a starter. 73 innings from Adrian Morejon. So actually, it's Michael King. Michael King had 73 innings. So Kolick was 79 and Michael King was 73 are your fourth and fifth on this list. And right now, we have JP Sears throwing more than Kolick and Michael King had. We have Randy Vasquez throwing 160 innings this year. We have Musgrove. I don't know. 595, I think, is a lot, but let's just go with it. So we need to find 255 innings for the Padres starting rotation. All right? Okay.
Yeah.
So 255 innings. Where else can we get them? Well, let's look first inside the organization.
Yes.
We've talked about bullpen conversion. Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon are the most likely candidates. I think that of those two, Mason Miller is by far more likely to be converted.
Fair.
How many innings do we think Mason Miller? I just want to put it to both of you guys. How many innings do you think Mason Miller will throw as a starting pitcher for the Padres next year? The answer could be 0.
Yeah, I'm going to answer 0.
0?
I think he will be the closer for the San Diego Padres.
We have a lot of time with Mason Miller. A lot of time. They don't have to rush anything. And this year, that bullpen is going to see its anchor in a good way. Holds the ship where it wants to be. That anchor depart. And I think they're going to need Mason Miller to be the guy. So I'm with Craig. I think 0 innings. Although there is a part of me that really wants to see, that be 80 because it happens. But the thing is, you'd have to have such kid gloves the first year, and their depth isn't such that they can afford that right now. If they sign 2 or 3 starters, I don't know. But they want to compete. They can't afford to have Mason be down at all. They need him as a closer. 0 innings.
Okay. 0 innings.
Yeah.
Adrian Morejon, 0 innings?
0 innings.
0 innings.
I don't think he converts. I think he wants to be a reliever. I think he wants to have more pressure this year. I think he wants to get all the saves that Mason doesn't. And I think he wants to go into free agency and get a big contract as a relief pitcher. And I think he can do it. If he backs up this year with another year like that, he will get a big money contract.
He's going to make $100 million here.
Now I've got another M. I've got another M that I will put some starting innings next to.
David Morgan.
Morgan. That's my conversion guy. Is Morgan, and I think he gets hurt, but he could throw 50, 60 innings before he got hurt.
I hate it because he's going to be a valuable guy in the bullpen. And David Morgan has never, ever, ever, ever been a starting pitcher. All these other guys we've talked about have started before. Like their body has done that. Their mind has done that. They've had the regimen to do it. And David Morgan has never, ever done it. So you can add it. I know it's a popular thing, but I don't like it. I think David Morgan could end up being just like Adrian Morejon 2 or 3 years. Guy who is locking down 7th and 8th innings for you and asking him to do something he's never done at the highest level in the game. I want it to be 0, but we can split it and call it 25 because it's if it's not going to be him, it's going to be somebody else out of the conversion.
Somebody's going to get converted.
Yeah.
Somebody will.
I agree.
But I just don't see it being either of the top 2. And AJ even said it himself, AJ Preller. He said, we don't want to look up and have 2 mediocre units. And right now he's got a great bullpen. Even without Suarez, he can say, we've got a great bullpen. We are set. As soon as he takes 1 A reliever more, he can't say he has a great bullpen anymore. And given especially the uncertainty around Jason Adam, and when will Adam be available and will he be, Obviously, it's a leg injury, not an arm injury, so that's good. But, is he going to be of the same effectiveness? I just feel like it's way too big a risk. It feels like something the Reds would do. Do you know what I mean? It feels like something the Rays or a team that doesn't feel the pressure of winning would take one of their big relievers and make the convert. The A's, something the A's would do,
Well,
and
I mean,
did with Miller.
that's with Miller. Yeah, Miller he was a starter in college, and then they converted him to reliever to maintain the asset basically and
Yes.
cash in on it eventually. But that's the thing. You can't take Miller away because you're going to want a lot of cushion to either send him down to give him rest, Phantom IL, whatever it is. Like you're gonna want to do that to give yourself optionality when faced with those problems, and you don't have that when you're expecting to be in the playoffs every year. So, yeah, like I know Estrada isn't right for it, and it's the same thing with Estrada, and I just don't know the minor league relievers enough to guess who it's going to be besides those fellas.
Yeah, how could you turn Estrada into a starter?
Yeah,
like how?
and like there's other starting pitchers in the minors, like we have on the menu here, like Jackson Wolf season, baby. You're the Wolf. He wasn't bad at times last year in the minor leagues. I remember looking at it like around August, he wasn't doing so bad. Then he fell off. Like he will in AAA. He's back.
Raphie put 3 names on the list under this area, right? If by the way, if we give Morgan 25 innings, we're up to 620 innings now. So we're really rocking the ball. He put 3 players down from the minor leagues: Matt Waldron, Brian Hoeing, Jackson Wolf. I mean, let's at least mention the legend of Matt Waldron and the Waldron Cauldron, who threw over 120 major league innings for the San Diego Padres in 2024. It's a real thing that happened. It feels like it's a complete mirage and a fantasy. It's a real thing that happened. And then last year he was a 0. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm your biggest backer in the world. He was an absolute 0. And he didn't at any point in the season pitch at any level that made you go, hang on, we got to get Waldron up there. Why aren't they using Waldron? That was never a question that was really legitimately asked outside of our Cauldron t-shirt purchasers, who will still continue to ask the question to this day. But if there's a guy on this list that you could put a triple-digit number next to, the only one is the guy who did it, and that's Waldron. But it needs a complete story reversal from 2025 to 2026, a complete 180 in his personal career story.
I'm writing 70 next to Matt Waldron because I do think it's a good chance he gets 12 to 15 starts with the Padres, especially considering how they've acted in free agency past couple years.
Well, another guy who was pretty interesting in 2024, but the numbers suggested it wasn't as pretty as the ERA looked, and then the last year certainly showed that out, was Brian Hoeing. But Brian Hoeing is a player that I don't think any of us feel like is a necessary asset as a reliever for the San Diego Padres right now. So personally, I'm all in on convert Brian Hoeing to a starter and see what you have, and let him start in El Paso. And I would speak about him the exact same way we did about Stephen Kolek last year. Like, could he soak some innings as a 5 guy that throws sinker balls? Like, maybe.
Yeah, that's a great outcome for the Padres. Stephen Kolek threw 80 innings for the Padres last year before he was traded. Like he didn't even get to throw the lot. I mean, if he'd stayed on the Padres, he might have ended up cresting 100 innings. So, sorry, for Waldron and Hoeing, how many do we want to assign to each?
You said 70 for Waldron, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's what I would do for Waldron.
I hate to say that I would take a little under. I would probably say 60, but
I was going to say 40 or 50.
I'll go down to 50, frankly,
50's
because
fine. Let's say 50.
I would prefer Hoeing get the innings in the end. Like, I prefer Hoeing get 60, Waldron get 50.
I'm going to say on personal value, I'm not going to give Waldron and Hoeing 100 combined innings. I don't think so. So we got to choose which guy is going to get the innings. Do you think it's Waldron? Or do you think it's Hoeing? Or do you want to give each of them like 30? I'll go for that.
Yeah, give each of them 30 then.
Cool.
Because I think they both get a chance.
Unless I think Waldron's going to get more than that.
Well, it depends on the very last part of the exercise, which is going to be free agent possibilities.
Okay,
a free agent erases
do 30-30.
Yeah.
I think 30.
Okay.
I think you're right. 30-30.
So we're now at 680 total innings. Okay. So that's our starting five have 595. We're getting 25 from David Morgan, and we're getting 30 each from Waldron and Hoeing. So it's 680. So we have 170 innings to make up in the gap. Now we have to go outside the organization.
Right.
You want to read the list of names you have compiled? Oh,
yes.
Sorry, Chris.
So I've compiled basically every. I haven't. I've taken off essentially all of the guys who I know we're not going to offer a contract to, and that is Framber Valdez, Dylan Cease, and Ranger Suarez. Those are all guys who are projected to make more than $100 million in their next deal.
Right.
So I'm going to now read off just names, and I let's just do it like bullet round. Yeah. Like basically stop me when you think we should talk about a guy. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we've already talked about Michael King.
Sure.
So I think we don't need to. The other thing just to note, is the case with the next person, he declined the qualifying offer, which hampers his value. It comes with a penalty for signing him depending on the contract value. So just to put that out there. The next guy also declined the qualifying offer. He's someone we've seen pitch a lot. Zach Gallen. Should we stop? Keep going.
I just think he's I would just say this in brief. He's intriguing, to be sure. I think he's going to wind up getting paid for his 2 or 3 years ago quality to some extent, and he'll wind up being unaffordable. But if that QO holds him up, he could be the Pivetta of the class this year. He could be the guy that gets lost in the storm, because there's a lot of other names on this list. A lot of other names. So if he did get lost in the storm, I do think the Padres have proven to be the kind of team that comes up with a creative contract to rescue a guy like that. And I'm sure Niebla would love to get his hands on Zach Gallen, who you could write 165 to 170 innings next to pretty reliably. I feel like he's one of the guys that could go get you those innings.
Sure. Okay. Moving down the list.
Yeah.
Tatsuya Imai, the best pitcher out of Japan this year.
No chance.
Chris?
He'll be a Dodger.
No, Craig's going to say everybody's going to be a Dodger. I also say no chance.
I will just point you to a post from Bapip Roberts in our Discord at 10 a.m. this morning, who said, reposted Talkin' Baseball, which had a Japanese article which quoted Tatsuya Imai saying that he does not want to sign a team that already has Japanese players. So
we're out because we got Yuki.
That for what you will. And you Darvish, won't be playing next year, but yes. Okay. So we're moving along. Next on the list, Chris Bassett of the Blue Jays.
Intriguing. I think he'll be overpriced.
He's currently projected at 2 years, $36 million total, $18 million a year. He's 37 years old.
I'm not sure the Padres are going to even play at that. But Bassett, I had him on fantasy. Solid performer, and he does get up the innings. What did he put up this year? 160?
It's a good question. Hang on. I can tell you in a second. He put up 170. 170 innings this year.
Yeah.
And like that's a kind of instant problem solver. Like you can rely on him a little bit. I'm pretty high on him.
Okay, next on the list, Lucas Giolito.
Decline.
Okay. Merrill Kelly.
Would definitely be interested if the market was right.
Currently projected at 2 years, 32 million total, 16 million a year. He is also 37 years old.
I know, but that little gym rat, he just goes out there and just kind of spins it up there. I don't know. Kelly is, I've earned grudging respect for him over the years. At the right price, I would be fine with a Merrill Kelly.
Okay, I'm just putting
Sure.
X's next to the guys that we'll come back to after we go through the list.
Sure.
Tyler Molly. All right.
Feel the exact same way about the next name.
I will say, like, on this list, there are 2 names that, like, I'm excited by. That's 2 remaining.
Okay. We'll keep going then. Zach Littell.
I'm not that interested. He does give up a lot of homers, so I do think that there's a world in which Petco is good for him, but it's the same world in which Petco is good for JP Sears. So I don't think that highly of Littell.
Nick Martinez, old friend,
has proven to you what he is. You know, he'll give you a good half season. And then he'll wander in and out of the bullpen. So you could write down 115 innings next to Nick Martinez, I think very, very confidently, but he's not going to be in every game starter or in every turn starter for you. He's proven it. All these years that he said he could, he's proven that he can't. So.
Okay. Cody Ponce.
Makes sense for us based on our KBO to SD pipeline. But we didn't sign the dude who went to St. Louis. Who was that? Gosh darn it.
Eric Fetty.
Eric Fetty. Right. We didn't do it when Fetty
he went to the White Sox and then got traded to the Cardinals.
And is now a free agent.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah, I think he is.
And it is also now ass. So just
really, really bad.
It's not how I was going to put it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Kyle Hart spoiled me on Cody Ponce. So
yeah, I do want to point out with Cody Ponce. Yes, he put up a 189 ERA in the KBO last year with 180 innings pitched, but he only went to the KBO because he crashed out of Japan. He put up in 2024. He put up a 6.72 ERA in Japan with 67 innings pitched. The year before in Japan, a 3.66. The year before that, a 3.35. Last time he was in Major League Baseball, he was with the Pirates in 2021. He had a 7 ERA and 38 innings pitched. You know, he is a former 2nd round draft pick, so he's got that pedigree. But you know, you never know. Anyway, okay. Cody Ponce we're out on. Yeah. All right. Justin Verlander.
No.
Ding ding.
What?
Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. I would be in on Justin Verlander. He's crafty. Okay. He's old. He pitched in a really pitcher-friendly park last year in the Giants, but Petco's going to play about the same. I think they're within a place or two of each other on the park factor list. And he put up 150 innings, baby. Like, I know he had that crazy streak where he couldn't get a win, but the Giants were kind of ass. He was getting Bob Melvin'd. I think that Ruben could work with Verlander. And he's not going to cost... He's going to be a 1-year deal, and it's going to be $12 to $16 million.
He is currently projected to receive $15 million.
That's what he made last year.
For his age 43 season.
Yeah. Work for Greg Maddux.
He has, I had to blink twice. He has 20 years of service time. That is unbelievable. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
Zach Eflin.
Reclamation project. I could take him at 1 year, $6 million or something like that.
All right. Well, he's projected to get 15,
Yeah.
so you won't.
All
get
these
that.
guys are. All these guys are more.
Not
than
in my
that.
shop. He's not.
Yeah. We're in post-inflation America, sir.
That's true.
Okay. Let's just keep cooking, and then we'll go back to the guys we're going to revisit. Michael Lorenzen.
No thanks.
No.
Yeah.
Max Scherzer.
No.
What? Oh, I would absolutely take Scherzer
you guys are
over
trading
Verlander.
old men.
No.
Yeah.
How many innings did Scherzer give last season? Half what Verlander did is my guess.
All right. Well,
I know that he pitched in the playoffs and was still viable. He was still viable. Justin Verlander was never going to touch a mound in the playoffs.
Was he much better than you, Darvish?
All right. Let's keep
arms
going.
Intact.
Old friend Aaron Savali.
Well, Zach Eflin was an old friend.
No, I'm a no on Savali.
Lots of old friends coming up.
I don't like the cut of his jib.
All right.
Name is
Marcus
weird.
Stroman. Marcus Stroman.
No. See, Mania, Sean.
Yeah. Not interested.
How about riding in from the dusty old trail, the sheriff, Chris Paddock?
If he gets the lion tattoo changed to like I don't know what you can change a lion tattoo to, but if he changes the lion tattoo or blacks it out, I'm offering him 1 year, $5 million.
Each of the next four names on your list, I'm more interested in than Chris Paddock.
Chris Paddock, just for educational purposes, threw 158 innings last year, and he's projected to get $7.5 million.
See, like that's he's a little bit of a broken toy, and the value the value could be there. Like it would be very Padres.
5.35 ERA last year. So
yeah.
Okay. Next on the list, Jose Quintana.
Would.
We don't have to play him if he plays for the Padres.
All right.
Would. He is who he is. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay. Dustin May
is more interesting to me than Chris Paddock. Now, his numbers last year were not great. And he went to the Red Sox, but he did a little better at the end. And I was reading something about him. I read an article somewhere along the way. He's like, I'm fully back now. Like, you could get the bounce back year from Dustin May. He's at a crossroads. Either he's going to come back from that Tommy John surgery and the horrific lettuce injury, actual true sentence, and come back and be real, at which point somebody's going to get a great bargain in 2026, or, we're going to see the second to last year of his career. I'd more lean toward the former than the latter, just because we've seen him throw 98 with 22 inches of horizontal run. Like, we've seen it. So I would not be against a Dustin May flyer.
I want to add, as if Dustin May is the option A in this box, I want to add an option B, and that's Walker Buehler. Because I think I would rather have Walker Buehler than Dustin May in the Dodgers castoffs, just for the vet savvy. And both of these guys put up innings last year. I feel like Walker won that particular race, but I am in on one of those two Dodgers castoffs being like their $15 million guy, because they're only going to get one of those, I feel like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Gray.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. A little bit of interest there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd respect it.
The rest of the names I'm about to say are people I don't have estimated contracts on. Okay, Mike Soroka.
Before he got hurt, the Cubs situation looked intriguing, but I think he's just going to be hurt the rest of his career. I think those might have been his last 70 good innings.
I'd sign him
Okay.
as a relief pitcher.
Alex Cobb.
No.
Nah.
Okay.
He done.
He done.
He done.
All right. I'm just gonna run off. This is gonna be really rapid fire. Griffin Canning.
No.
Austin Gomber.
Meh.
Herman
No.
Marquez.
No.
Andrew Heaney.
No.
Okay.
No.
If it's not a yes, I'm not stopping.
Okay.
Tomoyuki Sugano.
No.
Charlie Morton.
No. He's got to
Tyler
retire
Anderson.
a Brave.
Yes, Tyler Anderson. Yes,
Tyler Anderson. Yes.
Tyler Anderson. Wow. Okay.
Give me the slop.
Tyler Anderson has a great OPS at Petco in that year where we all watched him kick our ass as a Dodger. He had a friggin' sub 650 OPS at Petco.
Yeah.
And what's his projected value? 14 million? 13?
I don't have anything listed for these guys.
Perfect.
So, yeah,
give it to me.
Yeah.
No, I would totally take a swing at Tyler Anderson, and I could 100%. I could absolutely imagine a world where he threw 160 league average innings for San Diego.
He put up 100.
Even better.
He put up 136 last year, and the more of the year before. I'm almost positive. 179, 2020.
Well, he pitched for the Dodgers, then he pitched for the Angels, he'd pitch for the Padres, and then I guess in 2027 he'd pitch for the Toros de Tijuana. Just keep
moving south.
Down.
Just keep going
down
the coast.
City.
Okay. We already talked about Walker Buehler. I'm vetoing Alek Manoah. No.
It's fine.
Alek
Manoah.
Right. Another old friend, Cal Quantrill.
Maybe.
You know what you're going to get.
We're not revisiting him unless I get a yes, like I got from Tyler Anderson.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay,
fair. Spencer Turnbull.
No.
John.
I'm a
Means.
little intrigued, but who was the last one?
John Means.
Yeah. I'm in on Means.
I'd take a swing. I'd give him a non-roster invite for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Putting him down. Nestor Cortez.
No. He's injured.
Okay.
He just got surgery. He's got Tommy John.
Oh, he did.
Was it TJ?
I think so. I could be wrong. I'm just going off of seeing him in surgery on Instagram. So
Wade Miley.
No.
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 He always gets hurt, though. He really gets
worse.
hurt.
Quintana. Yeah, less available Quintana.
Jose Urquidy.
Oh, he had a year, bro, but no. He's been broken. We don't need broke guys.
Jose Urena.
No.
Nah.
Okay. And then I believe the rest of the guys are just guys who are hurt. Frankie Montas, is he hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Gonsolin's hurt.
Yeah.
All right. There's your list. Okay. I'm going to delete our names who we are not interested in, and then we're going to decide from the following list who we're going to offer contracts to try and close the 170 innings gap.
I want to put one name on the list that is not a free agent. This would be a trade acquisition. This is a player about to enter their 9th year. They're coming very close to 10-5 rights. They have dominated at Petco Park during their career. They have a sub 700 career OPS against at Petco Park. They are in the last year of their contract with a non-competitive team. All we would need to do is convince Dick Monfort to trade with the Padres, and Kyle Freeland would make an awesome, affordable option on the last year of his $16 million per year deal. And I don't think he would cost a lot. I feel like the Rockies would shed that salary with the barest little funness. And Kyle Freeland, who puts up innings, who has done really well at Petco Park, would pitch his way into Padres fans' hearts. So,
I'm gonna say no. for the spirit of this exercise.
Yeah.
Lame.
Because
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
It's going to be no from me, dog. Also, it's not
so
Dick
good
Monfort
against
we
the
have to
Padres.
Convince. It's now Paul D. Podesta.
That's right.
You
Oh,
have to
no.
convince Jonah Hill from
Yeah.
Moneyball to let
my
go
God.
of.
Oh, no.
Yes.
You have to give him
He
like a
totally
wide
would.
receiver.
He wants to rebuild it. He
Yeah.
wants to rebuild. We can send him nothing.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to just read the names who we flagged, and now we have to decide based on what we think is realistic, based on how much money we think we have available, how we're going to fill 170 innings. Okay. So here are the names: Michael King, Zach Gallen, Chris Bassett, Merrill Kelly, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Zach Eflin, Jose Quintana, Dustin May, Walker Buehler, John Gray, not Michael Soroka because he's hurt, Tyler Anderson, and John Means. Okay?
Okay.
From that list, how are you plugging 170 innings?
All right. Give me May and Anderson.
Okay. I guess maybe we should probably. I don't know if it's worth saying how much money do we think the Padres have available.
I mean, we have no idea. I just think they're both affordable.
Yeah,
I'm assuming like a $20 million budget for starting pitching. Like,
okay,
total. That's kind of where I think it's going to.
Okay, so you're basically saying you can get one guy who you think is going to get all 170 innings, or
right,
or you're trying to crack and pack two guys.
Yeah. Could you get Zach Gallen at $20 million a year and then get all the innings from Zach Gallen, or do you have to chop it? I'm chopping it up.
You'd probably be paying Zach Gallen. So Zach Gallen is projected to get 2 years at 22 per. Like it's like a qualifying offer and then double. So that's not unreasonable.
Yeah.
I am going with Chris Bassett and Tyler Anderson. I think you might be able to do the option thing with Bassett, give him that extra year of security if something goes terribly wrong. And I think Anderson's going to be undervalued in the same way I think Chris Paddock is going to be kind of undervalued.
Okay. Interesting. So according to both of you guys, Tyler Anderson is a Padre.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
I'm all about it, man. I've just seen him beat us so many times and be crafty and like.
I'm not.
He looked good in them City Connects. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Dustin May is an interesting one for me only because I'd really love to never have to face him again.
Yeah,
right.
He's the flying tomato sort of strikes fear in the heart of every Padres fan. So
I just think on the list, I think and I might be just blinded by that one sinker, that almost, broke Manny's hip and he swung at it. But of all the names on this list outside of King and Gallen, I feel like May has the most potential upside of actually graduating into like this is a good pitcher, who is a real steal for San Diego. All the other veterans are kind of like, we're just hoping we're going to get our money's worth on innings.
Get the innings. Right. Yeah, get the innings.
But May is the one guy that, and I guess Buehler, maybe, if you think, a second year removed. But Philly didn't think well enough to even put him on the roster. So hard for me. That's why I lean May over him.
Okay. Well, that was a very fun exercise. Tyler Anderson's projected to put up 144 innings according to Fangraphs. So we're saying Chris Bassett's projected to put up 164. And
that says that means no Kyle Hart innings, baby.
Yes.
Like,
and where's
put up
Dustin
the banner
May?
Over the flight deck.
Dustin May is projected to put up 136 innings. So interesting.
We did it.
We did it.
We covered the number.
Mission accomplished. Hang the banner.
All right.
Okay. based on what we discussed, how do you think the Padres rotation, like what kind of ERA you think they're putting up next year?
You know,
I think if they add 2 major league starting pitchers, they have maybe not sub 4, but like right around 4 potential. And that's not bad.
Okay.
They can win with that.
The Padres rotation this year had an ERA, or I should say Padres starting pitchers had an ERA of 4.07. They were 16th in the league.
Okay.
Right dead in the middle.
Yeah.
You think this group is better than that?
I think the last year's group underperformed. I think Dylan Cease sucked straight up.
Yeah.
Cease
was not good.
Not good. And Michael King was unavailable. So, like, I think, yeah. Like, I feel like as good, the ceiling's lower because the ceiling with Cease and King was much higher than where they got. But I trust the record.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Well, we did it.
We did it. You thought nothing could be accomplished on Padres Hot Tub on November 24th? You were wrong, baby. We got the job done. And you know what? We're going to come back next week and we're going to do the job again. And I don't know what the job is, but whatever it is, we're going to figure it out. Want to say thanks to all of our patrons. Thanks to everybody who following us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for getting there. If you haven't put that like in on YouTube or a 5-star rating on our podcast and you've made it to the end, please do us that favor. We know you like the show. You made it to the end. So if you can do that for us, we really appreciate it. We'll be back next week. Patreon.com/Padres Hot Tub to check out Banter the Show. And until then, for Chris and Raphie, I'm Craig saying go STFC, but also go Padres.